Hey, what's going on guys? Butterbar here, welcome back to the channel, and today's topic, I really want to get into this topic of a new specialist being brought into this game. It's kind of an idea that I've kind of thought of, you know, going off of the ideas of previous Call of Duty games, mainly Black Ops 3 as well as World War II, and it really makes me think of what other specialists are coming into this game. Zero is pretty much the first specialist that we've had in this game. The introduction of her has brought a humongous change to the game, with her ability being able to not only control but also hack in and destroy people's score streaks, and also too being able to hack into people's feeds and kind of messing up their map and disorienting them that way. It really does make me wonder what type of specialist Treyarch could actually introduce because of her, as well as the other specialists that are in the game. You know, you have returning, specialists from Black Ops 3 into this game like Seraph as well as Ruin, but you also have new ones like Torque and Crash that offer up different specialty equipment and ways to play them in this game. And it's a very, a very fun way of being able to introduce specialists in this game. It's a very Rainbow Six-esque type of thing, or Overwatch. I know that's a big thing that people kind of compared those two games between Black Ops 4 and Overwatch, by people's abilities and being able to help out not only their teammates but also help out themselves and getting, bigger score points, getting bigger kill streaks and whatnot. And I really wanted to get into the topic of a new specialist with the help of Black Ops 3 as well as World War II and the abilities that were actually in those games. If you guys don't remember, we go back to Black Ops 3 and Seraph, one of the specialists that were actually brought back into Black Ops 4, she has a different ability back in Black Ops 3. She brought the Annihilator with her, but she also brought a little spawn point in Black Ops 4. However, she had a ability back in Black Ops 3 that was called Combat Focus. And Combat Focus pretty much gave you 2 times the amount of score, every time you got a kill, or if you captured an objective point, you get 2 times the amount of score from doing that. And it makes me really wonder, why don't we have somebody like that in this game? However, yes, we do have Crash, who gives you an extra 25 points per kill if you actually pick up his ammo, but really, I think there would be a great introduction of having a specialist being able to give people this ×2 score point for a certain amount of time. I really do think it would be a great satisfaction for players that are chasing down score streaks, trying to get the highest one possible, or people that are having a hard time going after score streaks in this game. Now, I'm trying to think of how ways it can actually be put into this game, and I thought about, what about an area effect type of specialist? Well, if you can actually hang around this specialist in a certain amount of radius and whatnot, like maybe 9 meters, 10 meters, whatever that might be, you might actually get a multiplayer to your score, depending on if you're capturing objectives or you're actually getting kills in this game. And I think that would help out tremendously, because you have specialists like Zero that actually specifically goes after not only score streaks, specialist abilities, as well as the specialists themselves. I've been really dying for a Call of Duty game that really emphasizes and really goes after players that are wanting to earn these high score streaks and making them really devastating. I mean, I think the one thing that has been kind of joked around with Call of Duty World War II as well as Black Ops 4 is having really devastating kill streaks, and sometimes they can be devastating in Black Ops 4, and other times they can be taken out pretty quickly, hence the FMJ1 and FMJ2, as well as now the introduction of Zero. So I would love to get your guys' opinion about this, but not only do I want a combat focus type of ability for a specialist, I'm going back now to World War II, and looking at the Blitzkrieg basic training. Now this basic training pretty much buffed all score streaks. I mean, hell, you had all different things from increased radius with the ball turret to being able to have more effectiveness when it comes to dealing damage with certain score streaks, and it makes me really wonder why we don't have something like this in Black Ops 4. It makes me really wonder if this is something that possibly Treyarch could be, introducing later on in the future, because, again, in my opinion, score streaks have been kind of taking a hit the past couple of weeks that this game has been released, not only with FMJ1 and FMJ2, but it's also with the introduction of Zero being a big hindrance on score streaks in this game. The fact that they can be controlled but also destroyed fairly easily for somebody that's not even playing the game. They're just kind of hanging out. They're not going after anybody. They're not going after points and whatnot. They just get to take over things and destroy things just with their specialist ability. So, however, have something that can actually counter that, or at least help players that are wanting to go after the score streaks in this game, and also make them more devastating. Make score streaks really something that people are going to be fearing. One of the things that I think is really funny, you have score streaks in here like the Thresher, or score streaks in here like the Sentry Gun that sometimes do really great, and sometimes like you're wanting to know like, why did I put that as my score streak? Thresher being one of those things I'm wondering to know, like, why am I selecting this thing? I want to do something different. I want to try a different score streak, but the Thresher is just not working out for me. But also, too, you have score streaks like the Sentry Gun, but that, again, are being taken out quickly by not only abilities on weapons, but also abilities on specialists. And sometimes the Sentry Gun is just, it's not tracking, or it's not dealing enough damage, and stuff like that I think can really be buffed out by somebody that a specialist that is, I guess, specialized in being able to not only buff up score streaks, but also buff up the way that you can actually earn points in this game. Now, I talked about in this game, with, being able to buff up or actually increase the amount of score somebody, earns with a radius effect, where you actually just hit it like you would hit it like a strike team effect. Like you would hit that button like a strike team, and around this person they get 10 meters around them. Anybody that's around that 10 meters around that specialist gets ×2 with their score streak. However, when it comes to actually buffing the streaks with the Blitzkrieg effect from World War II, is how about you just buff the score streaks that are out right now? So you can actually work very effectively with your team if they have score streaks out, like a strike team, a mantis, you got the gunship out, stuff like that can be really buffed out if this specialist works with his teammates, saying, hey, you know what, I'm bringing out a mantis, I'm bringing out an attack chopper, I'm bringing out a UAV, and you can actually be able to buff these things in certain ways. Maybe UAVs take 2 rockets to take down now if it's actually up and ready to go. Maybe the strike team has maybe either increased health or does even more damage when they're shooting people. The gunship, you get increased time. So depending on what kill streak you have out at the time, whenever this specialist uses their actual specialist ability, can actually just have a different change on the game. And I really do feel like a lot of players would probably get a big kick out of this, because again, a lot of players come from the mindset of playing, games like, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, where kill streaks were a really great thing and really easy to earn in this game. And they were actually pretty devastating in those games. If anybody had been around Modern Warfare, you know the helicopter hat showed no mercy. Players that played Modern Warfare 2 knew the Harrier strike, and then people that were getting the pave load, the Apache chopper, as well as the AC-130. Those were devastating kill streaks that were really great to use, and people worked their butt off to get up to those score streaks. And again, I feel like we need to have a revamped way of getting back to that time where stuff like that was a really great thing to not only work towards, but also being able to use and utilize in this game. And again, I think it would make the game a lot more fun if score streaks actually had some type of use in this game, some type of fun, some type of devastating effect on the match that people actively work towards. Because I feel like right now, people don't really work towards score streaks. People don't really work towards getting the drone squad or the mantis or the strike team or stuff like that. People just play the game just to see what they get up to. I mean, hell, I'll watch game footage of people on YouTube where they have maybe just like the UAV, counter UAV, and maybe the Predator missile. It's stuff like that where I'm just thinking, you know what? It would be really cool to see more gameplay of people having the bigger kill streaks out, having the more devastating kill streaks out. But for right now in this game, it doesn't really emphasize or doesn't really reward players that have that, because it does take a hell of a lot of score to get up to these kill streaks, and they don't really have an effect on the map where they're actually worthwhile. I mean, hell, the UAV that used to be maybe a 3-kill score streak, now you have to get 5 or 6 kills to actually get that thing, and it's blown up immediately. So really, there's no effect whatsoever that UAV has in this game. And I imagine why players like me and a couple others don't actually run the UAV, because half the time it doesn't matter if it's up or not. It's going to be destroyed really quickly in this game just because of the way that score streaks are taken out. So again, I really do think a way to actually bring another specialist in the game that I think would make it a lot more fun, that other Call of Duties have done, like Black Ops 3 as well as Call of Duty World War II, not only being able to increase the amount of score that you earn in the game with the combat focus that Seraph had in Black Ops 3, but also Blitzkrieg, that was a basic training skill in World War II that actually reinforced and buffed up score streaks and made them even more devastating and a lot better to use and a lot better to earn. You actually were chasing down these different score streaks because they were so devastating and they were a lot of fun to use. And I feel like right now in this game, we don't really have that. So guys, I wanted to put this idea out there. I wanted to, you know, hit you guys up with this new specialist idea. Again, we don't know. Right there, Thresher just getting 3 kills, but there's this dude. Thresher, what were you doing, man? What were you doing? You killed 3, but there was a 4th. What happened? What if you had Blitzkrieg? If you had this ability, you would be buffed up. But anyway, again, I just wanted to give this idea out about not only being able to increase the amount of score that you get, but also to being able to buff up these things and make them a lot more fun to unlock and actually earn and use in the game. Because right now I feel like Black Ops 4 again does not reward players in this game enough for getting up to these high scores that you have to earn, as well as high kills. So guys, I wanted to pass this off to you. Gave my idea of what I would love to see as a new specialist in this game. Again, we don't know what Treyarch has to offer, I guess, for the rest of this game. We will have to see what other specialists enter this game while the game is out. I mean, hell, Zero again is the first specialist we got, but I would love to know from you, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about a specialist that actually not only buffs up score streaks, but also helps you out being able to earn your score streaks and be able to go after the higher score streaks and be a little bit more devastating on the battlefield? So guys, I'd love to pass it off to you. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this new specialist idea. Again, hope you guys are having a great start to the weekend. I love you all. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys all next time.